A vlogger filming a casual outdoor video might have unintentionally captured more than he intended. While recording himself talking to the camera in a wooded setting, viewers notice something strange in the trees behind him, partially hidden by branches. A tall, shadowy figure appears to be moving among the trees.
Hey, what's up everybody? This is Weston Yancey with Modern Outdoor Media. We just wrapped up a shoot out here with Just Instinct Creative, shooting the rad power bikes, riding some trails. I wanted to talk to you guys about a giveaway we're getting ready to launch with our B Alpha shirts. These B Alpha shirts that you've seen on our social media, we're going to do a contest where those who buy one, if you go tag us in your rifle kills this year, we're going to get the best photo, nice and cooler. So you're going to be able to pack your hunting stuff, you're going to be able to pack your drinks, all that kind of stuff when you're out hunting. You know, so make sure you check out the B Alpha shirts on our website, modernoutdoormedia.com, and make sure you have packs with you when you go out on your rifle hunt this year.
Behind the man, we can momentarily notice a black, erect figure following a man, which could be scarier than the fact that when shooting a video we don't see what's going on in the background. Pay more attention to such things. A man and his family came to a camping site in the forests of Canada. Having laid out their belongings and settled down, he decided to rent a boat with his friends. When they set sail, one of his friends saw something on the mountain. A tall black figure right on top of the mountain. It can clearly be said that this figure moves on two legs. But how? Is a person capable of overcoming mountainous terrain with such ease? Especially since, according to the author, there are no routes to this mountain, as it is difficult to overcome. We assume that this is a Bigfoot. Bigfoot, according to numerous testimonies, possesses exceptional physical strength and endurance, which allows him to move easily through difficult, mountainous terrain. Thanks to his powerful leg muscles and wide stride, he is able to overcome steep climbs, rocky areas, and scree without apparent effort. His feet, according to eyewitnesses, are much wider than human ones, which gives better grip on the surface and stability on unstable soils. His height, which reaches 2.5 to 3 meters, allows him to easily step over obstacles, and his thick coat protects him from the cold and wind in the highlands. Some researchers suggest that Bigfoot uses hidden trails and is able to move almost silently, avoiding meeting people. These adaptations make it an ideal inhabitant of inaccessible and impassable mountainous areas, which explains why it is so difficult to detect. Here's some astonishing and recent Bigfoot evidence. A man has 2 game trails in the woods behind his house, one on each side. Usually, he observes deer and other small animals passing through these trails, often noticing their footprints and mentally recording them. However, on a snowy day in January, while walking along these trails, he discovered unusual footprints, large, human-like tracks unlike the typical wildlife he usually sees.
The trackway that's going, there's a game trail over here, goes right by my house, by my kitchen and my dining room. So those are the footprints. There is the footprints right there. There's my glove next to one of the footprints.
So that's pretty big, huh?
Yeah, those are big Carhartt gloves, and then that's the trackway.
Wow. They're in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Dr. Jeff Meldrum said. And then I measured it.
He is one cool guy, man.
Yeah, he is
I
super
like
cool.
He's a mellow dude.
I measured it, but I went from toe to toe. Toe to toe is 44 inches. Well, here's right here, maybe 42 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Toe to toe, that's what I did in this one over here, toe to toe, and it was yeah, like 42 inches toe to toe.
Dang, that's pretty big.
Yeah, and that's the trackway right there.
That's cool shot.
He displays the prints believed to be approximately 16 inches in length. Additionally, he measures the strides indicating that the toe-to-toe distance is about 44 inches, suggesting a notably long stride. In conjunction with these footprints, he mentions hearing unusual wood knocks and loud footsteps. Listen as he describes the strange activities he's been encountering.
This was January 13th of 2022. And then I've had wood knocks since, and I've had, what else? I've heard footsteps in the back of my property,
Yeah.
where I've heard the snow crunching.
Yeah.
And like I was telling
Some of
Sybil,
those are the creepiest. Man.
yeah, I could hear the footsteps and the crunching of the snow, but I could feel the impact.
Yeah.
Not in the ground, but it was, I don't know how to explain it.
No, it was like a concussive feeling
Yeah.
in the chest.
It was
I know
like,
exactly what you mean.
it was, I couldn't feel it on the ground, but I could feel it through the air or something.
You know what?
Weird.
What it felt like to me was like a presence, like a real presence.
He reflects on his very first supposed encounter with Bigfoot amid these circumstances. As we can gather, he resides in a highly rural and isolated area. He recalls being outside late at night during the dead of winter, a cold and snowy evening. He notes that it was particularly dark that night, with no moonlight illuminating the surroundings. While outside with his dogs, he scanned his environment and noticed a pair of enormous eyes at the back of his property. He shined his flashlight toward them, and the creature remained standing still, frozen in place, staring back at him, partially hidden behind some foliage. Only its face and eyes were visible. He describes the creature as remaining motionless and fixated on him for about 5 to 10 minutes. Eventually, he and his dogs decided to go back inside, and when they returned later, the creature was gone. It seems that in this area, Bigfoot might roam freely, remote enough for them to live undetected by most humans, except for this particular individual. While walking through the woods with his dogs, the man heard long guttural sounds, similar to growling.
Something across that creek. Is it gross?
Bigfoots, according to numerous testimonies, emit a wide range of sounds, including high-pitched screams, hoots, roars, and whistles. One of the most famous is the Ohio howl, a prolonged howl recorded in Ohio that resembles both an animal roar and a human scream. Loud knocks on wood are also often mentioned, the so-called wood knocks, which can be a form of communication or warning among individuals. In some cases, sounds resembling primitive speech or its imitation were recorded. The so-called Sierra sounds are especially well known, in which fast, internationally complex speech is heard. Scientists are skeptical about these recordings, believing that the sources may be famous animals or fakes, but some of the audio remains unexplained. These sounds are still an important part of the Bigfoot legend. A startling new video was just released on June 20th, 2025, originating from the Appalachian Mountains. The caption states, "I've never experienced anything like this in my life, nor has my grandson. We need answers." The uploader adds, "This is my neighbor who frequently trespasses. They saw me returning and charged at me, attempting to grab my camera or myself. They neither speak nor respond. Honestly, this doesn't seem like any neighbor I know. Let me know what you all think." A dark, hairy, small humanoid creature is seen running through the forest directly in front of him as he attempts to hide. It moves with a peculiar, hunched gait, almost as if it's injured or something similar. The creature then runs directly past the man, pauses to sit and stare at him for a few moments, and then suddenly lunges toward him before the video abruptly ends. online viewers are going wild over this clip. One commenter claims those sounds aren't human, while others suggest calling the police and never venturing into the forest again. Many speculate that it could be a feral person, a member of a lost tribe, or some kind of baby Sasquatch. The idea of isolated feral human groups surviving in the remote Appalachian Mountains had been part of regional folklore for centuries. Although there's no verified evidence of truly feral tribes cut off from society today, the Appalachian wilderness, with its rugged terrain and deep hollows, has long inspired stories of hidden people, wild men, in lost communities. Before European settlers arrived, indigenous groups like the Cherokee and Shawnee Creek told legends of small beings, spirits, and lost tribes dwelling deep within the forests and mountains, often reclusive, mischievous, or dangerous. The Cherokee, for example, spoke of Unisunsti, small, secretive creatures inhabiting remote mountain areas. Some lore also references giant races or ancient tribes that were wiped out or driven into hiding by conflict or disaster. So, could this be evidence of a member of a lost tribe? Or perhaps some kind of Sasquatch? Whatever it is, it's one of the most mysterious and unsettling videos we've come across, raising more questions than answers. During a hike along a secluded forest trail, a group of women encountered something unexpected. They discovered a small, dark figure clinging to a tree several feet above the ground. Initially, they believed it might be an animal. However, upon closer inspection, the figure seemed humanoid, covered in dark hair with elongated limbs, appearing both shaken and curious. The women later described it as resembling a juvenile Bigfoot, smaller in stature, but unmistakably not a typical animal. They managed to record a brief, shaky video before the creature vanished, igniting online discussions about what they truly saw deep within the woods.
Is that a bear? It's not moving. What is that? What is it? Yeah, this just really doesn't feel right. Oh my God, did I catch that on camera? No, I saw that. I know. Okay, I'm leaving.
On May 4th, 2013, in Wayne National Forest, Ohio, he ventured into the woods that Saturday, seeking tranquility. Around him, water tumbled from nearly 90 feet high into the cave floor below. The roar was loud, yet soothing. Standing beneath the cascade, he let the water splash onto his hands, focusing solely on the present moment. He recorded the waterfall to preserve the memory of the day. However, that evening, when he returned home and reviewed the footage on DVD, something unexpected caught his eye. On the distant ridge above the trees, a massive figure moved. It was a large, dark silhouette, too big to be human, and too fluid in its motion to resemble anything familiar. It silently traversed the ridge, almost as if it had been observing him all along. The camera captured this enormous form, walking upright, before it vanished into the forest. He hadn't noticed it at the time. No sounds, no visual cues. But now it was evident that whatever it was had been nearby, watching him from above. Perhaps it was assessing whether he posed a threat. Maybe it had approached closer than he thought. And perhaps, in the quiet shadows of Wayne National Forest, something ancient still roams the ridges. Typically, when people think of Bigfoot, they associate it with America because most sightings occur in the country's forests. However, many other nations around the world also report sightings of similar creatures. Almost every country has its own version of the Sasquatch. For instance, Australia has the Yahi, and China has the Yaren, or the Wild Man. Today, though, we'll explore some rare footage from Poland, captured by a man who was hiking through rugged terrain. In the afternoon of 2009, he was exploring an area that appeared largely uncharted. The landscape was rocky and mountainous, with dense forest nearby. It was in a clearing, within this terrain, that he encountered the creature.
Co tam jest? Widzisz? Zobacz, tam na lewo od kozicy to jest. O kurde. Pokaż to na to. O kurde, masz to? Weź to, masz to? Gdzie to jest? O, tutaj, o kurde, co to jest? Niedźwiedź? Nie. Nie no, niedźwiedź tak nie chodzi. Co to jest? Do kozicy? Co to jest?
A dark, upright creature is depicted, slightly bent forward as it moves across rugged terrain. Its arms appear extremely long, especially in this frozen moment. It features broad shoulders and thick, robust legs. Although Poland isn't commonly linked to Bigfoot in the way North America is, there are folkloric and contemporary reports of large, hairy, humanoid beings in the region, often connected to local myths or cryptid lore. In Polish folklore, there's the ancient figure of the Leśniud, meaning forest people. These are wild, hairy beings believed to reside in deep forests such as the Białowieża forest. Legends portray them as large, human-shaped, hairy beings who tend to avoid human contact but occasionally steal livestock or scare travelers. Modern reports of Bigfoot-like creatures in Poland are infrequent but not unheard of. Recently, several hikers and locals in the Carpathian region have reported sightings of tall, hairy, upright figures deep within the forests. These descriptions align with the typical archetype of Bigfoot, standing between 2 to 2.5 meters, 6 to 8 feet, tall, broad-shouldered, and elusive. It appears that such Bigfoot sightings are not limited to North America, but are occurring worldwide. Could these recent encounters be new sightings of the Sasquatch-like creature believed to inhabit Poland? A sighting that might finally confirm its existence to the world? Let's review a recent game camera image that might have captured Bigfoot. The photo is quite clear, providing us with impressive close-up evidence. However, some skeptics dismiss it, arguing that it appears to be either AI-generated or edited, claiming it's too perfect to be authentic. On the other hand, believers defend the image, criticizing skeptics for never being satisfied with any evidence. They point out that skeptics often complain that Bigfoot footage is blurry or shaky, suggesting a bias against clear sightings. However, whenever new clear evidence emerges, it is often quickly dismissed as AI-generated or edited. Once again, we find ourselves with a highly controversial piece of footage. The first thing that catches the eye is the creature's muscular build, completely ripped, with prominent shoulder muscles. thick biceps, and what appears to be a large chest. Unlike most Bigfoot sightings, which describe a hairy creature from head to toe, this one seems to have a mostly hairless upper body. Its legs are covered in long hair, and even its face has a notable amount of hair. Additionally, examine the claws. This creature has human-like hands with fingers ending in razor-sharp claws. When zoomed in on the face, it appears dark with a prominent nose and a mouth resembling that of a human. If this entity is real, it's certainly one you wouldn't want to encounter, as it looks virtually impervious. Boys Bigfoot on Instagram comments, quote, "This picture has been circulating on social media. A game camera apparently captured a Bigfoot-like creature. What are your thoughts? Real or fake?" End quote. Honestly, I share the same curiosity and would love to hear your opinions in the comments section. Here's a recent Bigfoot video that provides some quite clear evidence. The dark, foreboding footage shows a large, ape-like creature walking through the forest. It was captured by a family living on a heavily wooded property. The father, along with his daughter and son, enjoy outdoor adventures and exploring the natural surroundings. However, they've experienced their fair share of strange encounters in the area. They have seen what they believe to be unidentified beings. And tonight was one of those occasions. Check it out. In the shadowy forest, we observe a mysterious dark creature. It's an astonishingly tall, primate-like being that moves in a human-like manner. Despite the low light conditions, it's clear this resembles a Bigfoot. The creature is covered in long, shaggy hair, broad and muscular, yet its gait is quite unusual. It seems to walk with a human-like stride, but not exactly. Perhaps it's an attempt to imitate human movement. I've increased the brightness and exposure to give us a clearer view of the creature. Take a look. As I often mention, many of these Bigfoot videos circulating online are quite controversial. Opinions vary widely. Some believe, others dismiss. In this case, skeptics argue it's just a person in costume. However, how could a costume be this large and detailed? The hair appears to be naturally attached and flush with the body, suggesting a very large individual inside. The creature is estimated to stand about 8 feet tall. To reach such a height, someone would probably need to be on stilts. Yet, the creature moves swiftly and effortlessly through the underbrush, something that would be very challenging on stilts. The family has observed other known creatures in the forest there, which adds to the credibility of this footage. As I often do, I'll leave it to you, the viewers, to make the call. Do you think it's someone in a costume, or could it be the real thing? Share your thoughts in the comments below.